Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Rachel and this is my channel. So today I am bringing you guys a video all about angel numbers and my experience with them. I just want to remind you guys to like this video and subscribe down below if you're new, and yeah, with all that said, let's just get into the video. So basically I just want to give you a brief summary of what this video is going to entail. I'm going to tell you guys what angel numbers are, my experience with them, and a brief intro to them. And then if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them down below. I will do my best to answer them for you. Also, I will leave the resource that I used for some of the research for this video down in the description. So if you guys are interested in learning a little more about it, definitely check out that resource. It'll be the top thing in the description box. Really easy to find. Just check it out if you're interested. So what exactly are angel numbers? Angel numbers are basically what your guardian angels use to communicate with you. They communicate with you through numbers. And what I mean by communicate through numbers is they will direct your attention towards noticing certain numbers. It's kind of creepy if you think about it, but it's also really endearing that there's someone up there looking out for you, you know? I also just want to say that you don't have to necessarily believe that all this is real, but you should still watch the video because it's really interesting. And if I'm being honest with you, I didn't believe in all this stuff. I thought it was just the same as horoscopes, and I'm I don't know, they don't seem that legit. It just seems like people making it up, until it actually happened to me, and now I definitely believe that this is a thing that happens. So you guys should definitely continue watching even if you don't believe in this whole angel numbers thing. So your guardian angels, like I said, try to communicate with you all the time. And they can do this in a variety of ways. Their guidance can appear in the form of a dream, intuitive nudges, or impulses that you have, random flashes of inspiration, maybe repetitive thoughts, feelings, or ideas, things that are repetitive. So it's really hard to pinpoint when your angels are talking to you and when you just got a random idea. One way that you know angels are talking to you is when you start seeing angel numbers. In my spiritual awakening video, which was a while back, I talked about how when you've had a spiritual awakening, you will start noticing synchronicities or coincidences. That's kind of what angel numbers are. It's a coincidence that you look at the time, or you look at a license plate, or you see these random numbers everywhere you go. When you start seeing angel numbers, you are one step closer to being enlightened, because you start becoming aware of this higher power that's working in your favor, if that kind of makes sense. Basically what I'm saying is when you start seeing angel numbers, it's a sign that you're becoming more enlightened or more spiritually aware. And also, like I said, the purpose of these numbers is to guide you. So if you start seeing numbers repetitively, like I said, whether it's on a license plate, on the clock, maybe you stop your video at a random time and it's that number that you see all the time. It can be so many different things. If you start seeing numbers, you should really figure out what that means, because that is your angels trying to talk to you. And if you look it up, a lot of times it actually makes sense what they're trying to tell you. It makes sense with what you're dealing with at the time. To kind of back that up, let me just really quickly tell you my experience with angel numbers. So I never was a spiritual person. I was never really into that. I was religious, yes, but I definitely didn't believe in horoscopes or tarot or healing crystals or anything in the spirituality realm, okay? But when I had my spiritual awakening, I'll leave the video up in the cards so you guys can check it out if you haven't seen that. One of the things that I started noticing was these angel numbers, and this was one of the first signs I started seeing before I figured out that I had a spiritual awakening. It sounds so crazy when I say that, because people will be like, yeah, right, Rachel, okay, whatever. I genuinely think I had one. You can believe me or not, take it as you will. But I started seeing these angel numbers. Basically what angel numbers are repetitive numbers. So I was seeing repetitive sequences of numbers. I wouldn't just see one number all the time. I feel like I wouldn't have figured it out if it was just one number all the time. But it was a specific sequence of numbers that I saw all the time. It started off with me seeing 9/11. I would see it in the morning at school because my school day starts at like 8:30. So I don't know, I would just like check the time at that time every day, and I just figured it was like a coincidence. I was just like, okay, it's probably just like my body in the habit of like checking the time at that time of the day. I thought of it as a coincidence, which, like I said, it's like a synchronicity. Once you have a spiritual awakening, you start noticing that these coincidences might not actually be coincidences. But at this point in my life, I thought it was a coincidence. So it was very strange to me that I kept seeing it in the morning, but I thought it was a coincidence. Then I started seeing it at nighttime a little bit more. Like, I would see it in the morning, and then I started seeing it at nighttime too. And there even came a point where I would see it, like I would randomly pause a YouTube video. I was just watching a video and I would pause it and I would notice that it stopped at 9/11. Or I would notice that certain videos were 9 minutes and 11 seconds long. I would see it on license plates, I would see it on signs, like it was just right there in front of my face, but I was refusing to admit that it wasn't a coincidence. I was like, this is very strange, but this is definitely a coincidence. Then at one point, I just finally decided, like, okay, I'm just gonna look it up. Like, I wanna see if this happens to anyone else and like what it means, because this is getting a little bit weird. So I looked it up. And also keep in mind, this was last summer, I think, so almost a year ago. And okay, this is one thing that I want to put out there. I don't know if it means anything, but my grandpa had just died a couple months prior to me starting to see these number sequences. And if you guys didn't know this, sometimes when you have deceased loved ones, that's when you become spiritually awakened, is like once you've had someone that you love die. Maybe it means that he's one of my guardian angels. I don't really know what it means, but I also just want to put that information out there. This all started happening a couple months after he died. Anyway, I looked it up. I looked up what 9/11 meant, like what it means if you keep seeing it. And that's where I came across this article about angel numbers. And I was like, that sounds a little crazy, I don't know, but I read it anyway because what was happening to me was really crazy. I'm not joking, guys. I saw this number everywhere all the time, and it was getting like starting to freak me out because I wasn't into supernatural spiritual stuff at this point. So I was like, what's happening? This is really strange. I looked it up, and what I found was really interesting. The website that I looked at told me when you start seeing specific number sequences, especially certain number sequences that are very popular, one of those was 9/11. There was also like 7/11, 11/11, or even ones that didn't have 11, but I was mostly looking at the ones that had 11, to be honest. I know some people see like 222 or 333. People can see all kinds of number combinations, and they all mean different things. And I found out that it basically means that your angels are trying to talk to you. And at this point, I was like, that sounds like voodoo or something weird. I don't know, but this is weird. This is happening to me, so I'm just gonna keep reading and see what it means. So I got to 9/11, and what 9/11 means, it can mean multiple things, but basically the whole concept of what 9/11 was, what this website told me, was that 9/11 means your angels are trying to tell you that you need to stay positive and that, you know, you need to like stay on track with where you're going. Or it can mean that a big change is coming in your life. Now let me give you a little more context as well. So my grandpa died a couple months prior to this happening. I kept seeing the number 9/11. Even after I researched it, I kind of blew it off. I'm like, okay, that sounds interesting, but I don't think that's like what's going on here. So I kept seeing 9/11 up until, like, it went on for a couple months. And then I started seeing 7/11 as well, just as much as I was seeing 9/11. So almost every time I would check the clock, it would be either 9/11 or 7/11. I would see any type of number thing. I would see 7, 9, or 11 all the time. It was very, very sketchy and very weird, and I was kind of freaked out by it. So I would try not to look at the clock, but sometimes you just like get an instinct to like check the time, and like you can't do anything about it, and there you go. It would be 9/11, 7/11, or 11/11. It was kind of crazy. Long story short, I looked up then what 7/11 meant, and 7/11 meant you were about to have, guys, this is where it gets really freaky. 7/11 means you are about to have a spiritual awakening, or you are in the middle of having a spiritual awakening, or somehow you're going to witness your higher self. Now keep in mind, I started seeing 9/11 months and months before I realized I had had a spiritual awakening. I started seeing 7/11 about a month or two before I decided I had had a spiritual awakening. And the only reason I figured out that I thought I had had a spiritual awakening was because of all the things that were happening to me that were spiritual related. One of these things was the synchronicity of seeing the angel numbers everywhere I looked. So if you guys, like I said, if you haven't seen my spiritual awakening videos, it's a two-part series. They're very long, but they're very interesting. You should check them out. Again, they'll be up in the cards. You should check them out. But it's very sketchy because then after I looked up 7/11, I kind of was still at that point where I'm like, I don't know if this is true. So I went like a month or two, I think, just kind of like, okay, I'm just gonna like pretend it's not happening to me, basically. But then I decided, okay, this is really weird. I'm just gonna look up what a spiritual awakening is. I looked that up and I was like blown away because all this stuff that doesn't happen to like anyone, it is very rare. All this stuff that they were talking about for a spiritual awakening had happened to me. Pretty much all of the things. You guys will know the whole story if you go watch my videos. But that's when I started believing it. And that's when I started doing more research on angel numbers. And I've been waiting to make this video for you guys for so long because I think it's really interesting. And I feel like this could be very beneficial if you've been seeing certain numbers over and over again. So where we're going to go from here is I'm just going to give you a brief guide of what certain numbers mean. And then I'm going to refer you guys to a link down below. They talk about it in complete depth and you guys should really look into it. And if you even have the slightest suspicion that this may be happening to you, I really encourage you to look at that link and start researching what angel numbers mean. Sometimes they're freaky accurate. You know, like the things that were going on in my life, I can't even spell it out for you guys, but the things that were going on in my life at the time that I started seeing these numbers were very, very relative to like what these numbers were telling me advice-wise. Does that make sense? Like the numbers were giving me advice that was very relative to what was going on in my life at that time. And it's not like life advice that can be related to everyday circumstances like horoscopes sometimes can be. It was like very personal, and every person who experiences this, it's a personal experience. I'm kind of going off on a tangent. Now I'm going to tell you guys some of the basics of angel numbers. Okay, so basically I'm going to be reading right off of the website that I'm going to relate you guys to. This is just a really, they call it a brief guide on the meaning of angel numbers. So basically what each individual number can mean. But you should also look up certain like sequences, because for me, I didn't see one number all the time. I saw sequences of numbers, and that's when it started becoming obvious to me. It's different for every person, but besides the point, I'm just gonna read the descriptions. So if you start seeing the number 0, this is a sign that divine guidance is available to you right now. Basically, you need to increase your present moment awareness. So become very aware of your present moment and be open to all the signs that the universe is going to send to you. If you start seeing the number 1 all the time, this is a message from your angels telling you that you need to stay positive. So they're telling you that you should start focusing on what you like and not what you dislike. Focus on what you want and not what you don't want. Basically, start looking at the positive side of things because it will have a great impact on your life. Like I said, these angels are trying to tell you what you need to know in that moment to get to where you're destined to go. So right now, if you're seeing the number 1, your angels are telling you that you should start trying to have a more positive outlook on life. If you start seeing the angel number 2, your angels are trying to tell you that all is well. Basically, stay optimistic that a positive outcome is on its way. If you see the number 3, your angels are telling you that the ascended masters are with you, meaning that they're there to help you and guide you from the realms of spirit. Basically, your angels are telling you you need to become aware of their love and their presence for you. I know that a really popular sequence is 333. So if I haven't looked it up for sure, but I mean, just looking at what number 3 means, it probably means something like, hey, we're here, so start noticing us. I don't really know. But also, I just want to point out, if you see these numbers in a sequence, as in like 333, 444, it just means that that number is that much more powerful. So if you see just 3 all the time, then it's like, hey, we're here. If you see 3-3, it's like, hey, we're here. And if you see 3-3-3, it's like, hey, we're here. That's basically what it means. Sorry if I just blew your eardrums out. Angel number 4 is telling you that your angels are with you and they're encouraging you to keep asking for help from them and knowing that you have access to angelic guidance and healing in this very moment. If you keep seeing the number 5, your angels are telling you that change is in the air. Basically, they're saying, hey, call upon us because we can give you change that's really going to impact and improve your life so you can manifest your best life. If you see the angel number 6, your angels are telling you to find balance between the material and the spiritual. So basically, they're like, stop worrying about money. It's counterproductive. It's not helping you. Call on us to release your fear and build trust. If you see the angel number 7, it's considered lucky 7 for a reason. Your angels are telling you that you're on track and aligned with luck and divine magic. Look for open doors and new opportunities that are going to start opening up to you. When I saw the number 711, 711 meant that you were going to have like a spiritual awakening or serious change was going to come about in your life. And that did happen. I had a spiritual awakening. I made a lot of positive changes in my life and my entire life changed. You can see it evident on my channel. If you go look at my channel, you can see my prior content and then you can literally see the exact moment when my content started becoming spiritual and like self-help related. You can see that shift on my channel, which is kind of crazy, but that's about when it started happening, just so you guys know. If you start seeing the angel number 8, your angel numbers are telling you that infinite abundance and prosperity is on its way to you. Your angels are telling you that infinite abundance and prosperity are available to you right now, especially to help you accomplish your purpose. So basically your angel numbers are saying, hey, wake up, you have all this opportunity right in front of you, start using it. If you start seeing the angel number 9, your angels are telling you that you have everything you need to accomplish your soul's purpose and everything that you need to complete your light work. It's time to get started and start taking action. So I feel like what that means is like you have everything you need to start sharing your spiritual journey, so start doing that. And that's actually kind of crazy now reading that, because I started seeing 9/11 and now on my YouTube channel I share stuff about spirituality and my journey. Anyway, I had never read that part before, so that's interesting because I saw 9/11 this morning. I still see 9/11 and 7/11 all the time. I actually see 11 all the time, which is funky because that's the next number we're going to talk about. So if you start seeing the number 11 all the time, your angels are trying to tell you to honor your intuition. It's right on. Keep your thoughts in alignment with your dreams and intentions for the future and release any doubt or negative energy into the light. This makes sense for me. I just want to give you guys like a little personal reflection to show you like how you can start looking at this. So like I said, I see the number 11 all the time. Like it's expanded now. I started off by seeing 9/11 and 7/11 all the time. Now I see 11 all the time. It can be 2/11, 3/11, 5/11, almost all the time. Not that I check every hour of the day, but almost every time I check the clock, it's something 11. And you guys might not know this about me, but I doubt myself a lot. And I deal with mild anxiety and I worry about things a lot. I try not to, but it's always a reminder for me when I see the clock at 11, I'm like, okay, I need to release what I'm worrying about right now. My angels are telling me that I need to just honor my intuition and just kind of accept life for what it is and accept that my intuition will guide me. And I think that's really awesome when you can have that kind of like connection with your angel guides, your spiritual guides, whatever you want to call them. I think that's really, really beautiful. So those are the basics of the angel numbers. I know it's not a lot of information, but you guys can definitely go online and find more in-depth guides as to like how to figure out what your angels are trying to tell you with these numbers, or to figure out what certain like number sequences mean. I just wanted to make this video because I think that angel numbers are so interesting because they're so different for every single person. While these guides and stuff might give you ideas as to what your angels are trying to tell you, every angel number has a personal like guidance behind it. Your angels are always going to be telling you something different. So it's not always the same message when you keep seeing the same number. I know it doesn't sound that interesting, but when it really happens to you, it's so intriguing and kind of mysterious, and you're like, what's going on? But it's really cool. I hope you guys liked the video. Make sure to like the video and subscribe if you're new, because you should. Comment down below if you have any questions about like what you've been seeing. I will do my best to do research and answer your question. Honestly, I'm really like hoping you guys ask me questions, because I think that'd be so cool. If it hasn't happened to you, then you can't really do that, but you should leave a comment down below anyway. With all that said, I'll just see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.
I've been running through the jungle, I've been running the woods to get to you, to get to you. I've been down the darkest alley, saw the dark side of the moon.